almost there. We're almost to the actual spinning part. Now, I know what you're saying. You're like, okay, well, Armed Exhibition spinning rifles. Absolutely. But did you know or did you consider that the spins are usually the most difficult elements of the routines? And generally speaking, they're not what you want to build your routines around. You want to build them around the simpler movements. And so when you do start to spin, that's when the difficulty level really starts to show. And obviously, as you increase in skill and experience, what you consider to be easy versus difficult is going to ramp up right along with you. But the next moves that we're going to cover are called fake or false spins. These are like the hybrid combination of the beat components that we talked about with your flashes and your fancy order arms variations. These are audio-based movements that start to look a lot like spins. And I'm going to give us a couple of examples, and we're going to break a couple of examples down. This may be one of the sections of the video course where you want to make sure that you have the ability to pause, rewind, watch again. We're going to go slowly through these variations, but they can be a little bit tricky. This is going to be a great test of your hand-eye coordination and how well we can let the rifle kind of move with its own momentum while we insert some of these counts or some of these beats into the moves. So, I'm going to give you the first demonstration of the most simple one, and then we're going to do some variations that are based on just this simple fake spin. So, this is what it looks like. Right? So we see that it starts with a center flash. So first count is a center flash. From here, we do some interesting things. So what's going to happen with this particular variation? We're going to retain control of the rifle with our left hand. We're going to keep the left hand on the butt of the rifle. We're going to release with the right hand from the small of the stock, and we're going to let the barrel fall down to our right until it's flat across at about chest height. Notice that I've let my hand slip to balance point 2 on the sling just below the swivel. And now I'm in position to conduct the rest of the movement with the butt plate to the left and the barrel to the right. One common mistake is to switch up our hands and accidentally go the other way. Remember, we're retaining control with that left hand. So, first count, second count. Now from here, this is where that fake spin happens, and we're going to break it down into its individual components. So, first component is retain control with the right hand, push the butt plate down towards the right, and let the rifle swing until it's vertical, and we can grasp the rifle with our left hand at the balance point directly in the center of the rifle. So once again, we're here, we push down, push, and we grab in the center of the rifle. Now from here, very simply, we're going to let the rifle keep going in its path, and all we're going to do is turn our hand up so that we're now grasping the rifle palm up with both of our hands. We're going to release the rifle with the left hand, keeping control with the right hand, and we're going to allow the rifle to come to a stop as it hits our hand in the middle of the upper hand guard. Now we have control of the rifle at the balance in our right hand once again. So let's break that down one more time. Center flash, release with the right, push the rifle down and spin until it's vertical with the butt plate in the air, invert the hands so that they match, release with the left, and stop the rifle parallel to the ground on the upper hand guard. Now, that's easy enough to break down, but once we're comfortable with the motion, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, we're going to start to float the last 3 counts together. The first 2 counts are sharp. 1, 2. The next counts, we want to use the momentum of the rifle and just allow our hands to assist with the control of that momentum. So we're going to go from 1, 2, 3 to something more like this. 1, 2, 3. Notice, my hands just exchanged the rifle with enough of a break that the rifle's momentum carries it all the way around. Watch that again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Very light touch on the rifle. All I'm doing is using my hands to stabilize it and assist the momentum as it comes around. And that's going to give us our first fake spin. Once again, at speed, it looks like this. And you can begin to hear that rhythm. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The hand-to-hand that happens in there is giving it that inner beat. And we can bring it out by applying just a little bit of squeeze on that rifle. Nice and easy. The level of the rifle stays consistent so that we don't have any awkward up and down type motion. It rolls right through our hands. So that's our first false spin. From here, at that ending position, we could do a bunch of, we could return to port. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Let it flip back. We could come up through a flash, drop to port. Now, we're going to add on to that base movement. So rather than just return to port by coming through a center flash, what we're going to do is we're going to add a similar false spin to the opposite side. So we're going to do the same hand motion, but going in the opposite direction. This is what it looks like. Notice you can hear the rhythm is the same. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1 and 2. But we change where we cut the rifle off by adjusting our hand positioning slightly. So let's break that down. We start with our first half of that false spin, the base that we've been working on. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. From here, we're going to go the opposite direction. We're going to let the rifle go clockwise to us by holding on with our left hand and pushing down with the right hand, swinging the rifle until we can grasp it at the balance point with the butt plate in the air and the barrel on the ground. From here, we're going to invert our hands the same way. They're both going to be palms up next to the balance point, close together. And instead of letting it come all the way over here, we're instead going to cut the rifle off at a vertical position by reaching up with our right hand. Up. So together, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, swing, under, stop. Swing, under, reach up and stop. When we do the movements together, we're going to try to make the beat the constant throughout the move. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1 and 2. And we're going to try to make our hands match what we know is going on in our head and let the beat and the rhythm drive the motion of our body. So together, the two halves look like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Notice getting to that straight up and down position requires our hands to be a little bit faster on the second set than they were on the first set. This is a great exercise to develop very, very slight differences in timing and control. It should really help us. So now the question is, we have the rifle in this vertical position, kind of awkward, what do we do from here? Well, we're going to continue the rhythm because 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1 and 2 needs a 3 and 4. So what we're going to do here is we're going to add a flip to port, and we're going to continue to finish that rhythm and reform to port. So it's going to look like this. And that's going to complete our movement. So as soon as we stop the rifle, we have our first hand over hand, our second. We're going to reach down with our right hand all the way across to the front edge of the heel of the rifle. We're going to flip the port, and then we're going to do a 1, 2 to reform. So we go reach, flip, and port. Reach, flip, and port. Reach, 1, 2, 3. So all together, our fully combined false spin looks like this. We can combine our false spins with our flashes and our order arms and our beat components to create things that are very rhythmic and driving, and these can be the foundation of some of our sequences. So I'm going to take things that we've already learned, and I'm just going to start linking them together so you have an idea of how these components can be put together to create cool and different, unique sequences. all just combinations of things we already learned, right? You can do the same thing. Now that we have manuals, beat components, boxes, false spins or fake spins, now that we have all these things coming together, we can start to create sequences that are very groovy and very rhythmic in nature, and really should add a whole new dimension to the sequences that you're performing in your routines.